We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Monday. We're starting another week, and it's going to be a motherfucker, guarantee you. We got the Zelensky meeting today and all the other leaders from different countries. We'll talk about that more. But we have a guest, as we normally do. And this one is special. If you've been in the TikTok lives, you know this young lady, C-Temptation. She's been on the show before. It's been a long while, but you were on the show before. And
Right.
I, actually, one of the reasons you hadn't asked to come back on the show, and I needed that much rest to recover from the last time you were on the show. So thank you for that. You run me ragged, girl.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm just all about telling the truth. That's all. No harm, no
Well, you,
foul.
the thing I think the thing that people like about you is the same thing they like about Will and some of the other people. You're very passionate about what you believe, and you're not afraid of
Absolutely.
saying what you think. I mean, I think.
Absolutely.
Do you ever feel, I mean, I get this a lot, and I guarantee you get this. We've never talked about this before, but
Hmm.
people will come to me and say, "Hey, you're saying exactly what I want to say, but I can't say it because I work for somebody or somebody in my family. Because I have the freedom to say whatever the fuck I want and what other people want to say, I feel like I have an obligation to do it." And I get a
Hmm.
sense that's probably the same for you.
I mean, I haven't had any people that came to me and say, well, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that. But they just say, well, I had a lady today that sent me a message and say, oh, you keeping it 100. Well, hell, that's all I know. I mean, that's what
Exactly.
I'm about. I'm about standing on the truth. To
Yeah.
bring some
Yeah.
sort of clarity to people and let them know, hey, don't let this man though, I mean, get you all bent out of shape. He's not worth it. Don't give him that type of power.
How you feeling about the way things are now? I've talked about it before. How, you get narcissists and they look good for a long time and they look like they're gaining speed and then they start to spiral and ultimately crash out. Don't you feel we're kind of in the late stages of that descent with Donald Trump and the crash is near?
You know what? I've been working with my coach. His name is Darren Monroe. Make sure you check him out. Darren Monroe Politics. Shout out to him. And I'm involved in what is called his Clarity Group. And he's basically he's teaching us though not to get, freaked out. He's teaching us things to bring us to a sense of peace and like, look, don't let this man, get you all stressed out because, your health is your wealth. Nobody's not going to take care of you but you. That's it.
Right. Right, exactly. And I think a lot of people take too much of the burden on their shoulders. I've trained myself over the years to say, look, I can do what I can do. I'm going to do it to
Right.
the best of my ability, but I'm not going to worry about things too much that I can't
Exactly.
control.
Because the concept is it's like, do what you can, and then whatever you can't do, then don't worry about it because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, make sure that you pray, you put in the work, you make your phone calls to your local officials, reach out to the non-for-profit organizations like ACLU, invisible.org, also No King's Day, and also, make sure that you reach out to your 23 governors and your attorney generals because those are the real Democrats that's going to fight for us, not the ones that's in Congress because they're a hot mess right now. It's because we're in a civil war right now, and one of them is the Democrats, and they are a hot mess.
Yeah, I've said that before too. I said we have problems both with the Republicans and the Democrats, but
We
we've got
do,
to
we
take
do.
one thing at everybody says, well, if we do that, then we got the Democrats. Let's take it one at a time. Let's put out
Exactly,
the let's put out the dumpster fire, which is Donald Trump and the Republicans, and then when the Democrats get power, then we hammer them too to make sure they're
exactly,
doing the right thing.
exactly my point. I
People
mean,
were
because
very
that's all we
frustrated.
can do at this point right now.
Yeah, we can only do what we can do, and a lot of people are frustrated with the Democrats in Congress, and justifiably so. And now we have this white guy from California, Gavin Newsom.
Oh,
Um,
that man is off the chain.
it's funny. Before Donald Trump was elected, and after he's elected, I've always
Hmm.
said the only way you fight people like this is if you match their energy. They only
I believe
recognize
that.
the
Correct.
bullying tactics. So now Gavin Newsom's doing it, and it's working. It's working. It's causing Donald Trump. Did you notice something? Whenever anybody says something about Donald Trump, he comes back, he strikes back. Have you heard him say anything about Gavin Newsom lately?
Oh no, 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 no. Because I really feel Gavin Newsom has really met his match because he's letting them know, like, look, we're enough is enough, because people are tired.
Well, bullies don't want to fight with somebody who's going to fight back. They want
Right.
to they want to easy targets, transgender athletes, people of color, because they don't think they have a voice.
Mhm.
He's not going to mix it up with Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom will kick his ass every time. He's mocking this guy every
24/7.
day. Did you
24/7.
did you hear what the latest thing was? Somebody put in, I think he put in one of his tweets was MAGA, make America Gavin again, which I
Okay.
thought is,
Hello. I like that. I like that.
everybody knows he's being ridiculous. I
Mhm.
mean, I think Gavin Newsom's probably a little arrogant on top of it, but this is the exact kind of energy we need to throw Donald Trump off pace. And that's where we win. We've convicted him 34 times. We've impeached him twice. We've exposed
Exactly.
a lot of shit. Nothing has touched them. So obviously, the direct attacks and the embarrassment are the things that are going to cause him to die,
And you know what,
spiralize.
Mike, like I've been saying in my previous videos, and check me out, YouTube, the political discussion, like I've been stating on my previous videos, to all registered voters, the main important thing that we have to do come midterm November next year, we have to get out there and vote and get these Republicans the hell out of office, because if we don't, then this fool might turn around and try to run for a third term and knowing the man is old and he's sick. He can't do it.
Well, if you saw him at the summit, we'll talk about the summit here in a minute. He did not look good. Things weren't going well for
Oh,
him physically,
absolutely not. I noticed
mentally.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. Let me ask you this. We have a lot of people suggesting a lot of things with the last election in November.
Hmm.
Whether he cheated or whether the media did this or the media did that. How big a factor do you think it was in that uh, election?
Oh, I can tell you right now, Mike, the election was stolen.
Well, hold on one second, though. Yeah, okay. Well, let's presume that's true. How much of it
Okay.
do you think had to do with Democrats sitting on their ass and not doing anything?
Oh, I definitely have the backstory to that, but I don't want to tell too much. But from what I gathered, as far as the information, it didn't look good. It did not look good.
Yeah, there were several million people that just didn't vote for whatever reason. Either Kamala Harris wasn't their cup of tea. I try to explain to folks. I said, look, Kamala may not be everything you want, but it's the only way you're going to get what you want down the road. Don't expect to get the world handed to you on the first time. You got to get this fucker back on the path so we can get to where you want to be. If you go to
Exactly.
Donald Trump, we're never getting there, as you can see right
And
now.
what the part that really gets to me, and I think I mentioned this on lives on TikTok before, what gets to me is a lot of people were not ready for a first female black president. And I'm like, and it just boggles me. And I'm like, if they got a woman in Mexico that's president and she's strong and smart, why can't we give Kamala a chance? Though I mean, this is 2025. Times has changed.
Let me ask you this: you're a woman of color. Kamala was a
Hmm.
woman of color.
Yes.
I'm curious if you agree with me. What do you think the big problem with Kamala is? Was it her color, or was it her gender? Which do you think was the bigger problem
Oh, that's a
for
good
voters?
question because, like I said, it's a little bit more deeper than just that. Because, like I said, the election was stolen, and I'll put it like this, though. What part of it, like I said, let me put it this way: that she did request it for a recount of the votes, and the Democrats had told her no. And when I
Yeah,
got wind of that, though, I was so pissed off behind that. I'm like, really, really,
yeah.
seriously.
I
I mean, I was just mind blown.
I personally think that the fact that she was a woman was a bigger issue than race.
I think it was maybe and then for the MAGA people, I think it was a combination of both.
Well, MAGA's not going to vote for her anyway, but you got these liberal people that love Bernie or whatever, and Kamala's not enough progressive for her. And there's a lot of older people. I'm a boomer, so there's a lot of people that are older than me that just think women should know their place. They should be second second-class citizens. They should be in the kitchen, and the man should be in control. It's amazing how many
That's
people still think
bullshit.
that way. Well, I tell you what, even if I felt that way, my
Mhm.
wife of 42 years straightened that shit out real quick.
And me too. I mean, because again, this is 2025. We're dealing with a new generation of people, and that was stuff that happened back in the 1960s because I'm from Generation X.
Yeah.
Let the past be the past. We need to deal with the present.
Well, that's exactly true. And I think we're going to see a dramatic change here coming up with the next election in 28,
Oh yeah,
because
it's going
I've
to
been
get
told that
interesting.
the boomers can't be boomers and some Gen X kind of controlled the most of the votes. By 2028, it's supposed to be millennials and Gen Zs. So there's going to be a whole different attitude about this country when they
Right.
became, and it's about time, these people, if I was a senator and I'm voting on things that are going to affect my grandkids, what business do I have doing that? These people have to decide their own destiny. They could make it good or they could fuck it up, but it's theirs to
Exactly.
choose.
Exactly. And
Um,
it's time though. It's time, and just like Gavin Newsom said, it's time for America to wake up, and
but
we need to
see,
do it right now.
see, it's interesting he would say that now, because people like you and me have been saying that for 2, 3 years. You need to fucking wake up. And people just don't wake up. They,
No,
every time Donald Trump does something, the Republicans normalize it. Well, yeah, he was impeached twice. What's the big deal? That
it's a
would have been a
hell of a
huge
big
deal in the
deal.
70s. Yeah.
It's a hell of a big deal. He was impeached twice. He's a 34-time convicted felon. I'm not want to say the word though. He's an offender. Okay, and
Well, we're
then
not on TikTok now. He's a sexual predator. I
well, I
can
was
say
just
it on
trying
the
to keep it
podcast.
classy and respectful. That's all.
You haven't heard the show recently if classy was concerned to you. No one
Saying.
said,
I mean,
Mike,
but
you're
I
so
could go there if you
classy.
want me to get down. I can get down now.
That's fine. That's fine if you want to. Nobody has ever come in the comments and said, Mike, you're so classy. Nobody's ever said that, and
That's
justifiably
not even
so,
your
because
style. Come on now, Mike.
that ain't my
Not even
style.
your
No, you're
style.
exactly right. It's exactly right. Let's talk about the summit a little bit, because
Oh
that's the big
gosh.
news story, and now it's leading into what's going on. Well, we're recording on Sunday night, but this will air
Right.
Monday morning,
Tomorrow morning.
Monday
Mhm.
afternoon. So we have that big thing. But the summit, people kept asking me, "What do you think is going to happen?" I said, "Nothing's going to happen
Not a
because
damn
nothing was
thing. Only thing
planned."
he's doing is just smoke and mirrors. That's all.
And Fox came out and said that Donald Trump got steamrolled. His own state media outlet said he got steamrolled. I mean, it
Get
was
the hell out of
hard to
here.
say it any other way. That didn't surprise you, I'm guessing, that that's how
Not
it ended
really. I
up.
mean, because I did watch, the live coverage, between him and Vladimir Putin, and when I heard what Donald Trump said, I'm like, come on, man, just admit though you do not have a deal. There's no peace fire. Why you got to sit up here and lie like that? Cut the bullshit. Let's just put it out there and be a billion about it.
Well, yeah, and it started out with, I'm going to give him 10 days, otherwise there's going to be serious consequences. 10 days comes up, he lets them go, give them another 10 days. Those 10 days go by, he goes, well, we're going to have a summit on such and such. And he went into that summit saying, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get a ceasefire. He was very clear about that.
Yeah.
And of course, there is no ceasefire about it. Somebody interviews, what's his name? I think of his name? Little Marco Rubio.
Marco
Uh,
Rubio.
yeah, and he said he was
Okay.
on a TV show on Sunday, and he said, "Of course there was no deal. You have to have Zelensky there." Well, yeah,
Right.
we've been
And
saying that all
Zelensky
along.
wasn't even present in the meeting. And I'm going like, where is this going?
You know why he wasn't in the meeting?
Why?
Because Vladimir Putin told Donald Trump that he didn't want him there. So Donald Trump just folded up and said, "Okay, we won't have him here." Even though by not having him there, even if you got Vladimir Putin to move it all, you can't finish the deal until you talk to Zelensky.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Zelensky is a president. So I'm like, why would you not want him present in the meeting? Because I think somebody was playing games, though, if you ask me.
Well,
Because
I
I'm
do
like,
too.
this is not adding up.
Well, and the thing about it is that you get mixed messages too. Um,
Exactly.
Marco Rubio and Donald, Marco Rubio was saying, well, or maybe it was Witkoff. One of them said, well, we're not going to be talking about Ukraine giving up any property, and that's what Zelensky doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to give away 20% of his country to Vladimir Putin. He says, we're not even talking about that. Then Donald Trump comes out and puts on Truth Social that, well, I think if Zelensky and Ukraine is smart, they should give up what they've got because Russia's a powerful country. And if they don't give it up and end this thing now, Russia could end up taking more. It's the same old shit. Russia's big, you're small, you need to give in. And that's just not going to happen.
That's a damn shame. That really is. It's a shame.
It's a
Because
scam.
that too, because you got Ukraine and you got Russia. It's people there that's either getting hurt or getting or losing their lives though. And these fools are just sitting around thinking it's just a game, it's a video game. And it doesn't make sense. It's
And you
like the
can't
math
even
is not even matching.
and you can't even call it a mediation because normally you would have Russia versus Ukraine, Trump in the middle moderating. But right now it's Russia and Trump against Zelensky because Trump is siding with Russia in all levels. So it's
Wow.
not a fair thing. So
It's not. It isn't.
when this is going to be interesting though, because when they came out of the meeting, everybody said Donald Trump was an absolute failure. They didn't gain anything, and then Donald Trump comes out and says that's a hoax. We got a lot figured out. No, you didn't. You didn't provide anything. You
You
wouldn't
didn't
take
provide us any
questions.
detailed information on what you got accomplished, which was zero.
So then he immediately jumps off and says, "Let's get Zelensky here." Um, So Zelensky is planning on coming, but Zelensky remembers what happened last time. He got
Right.
fucking ambushed and he got bullied and kicked out of the White House. So what happens this time around? He's coming in on
Same shit,
Monday.
different day.
No, 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 no. Guess what? European Union. Uh, the I don't know if it's going to be by video or they're actually coming here. The
Mhm.
Chancellor of Germany, the President of Finland,
Oh yeah, I
the
did. I remember that now because
Prime
I did a
Minister
video on that. Mhm.
of the UK. We've got people from NATO. They got about 8 or 10 leaders from around Europe that are going to come in to make sure he doesn't get bullied. Donald Trump's not going to like that because I don't know if you remember before the summit, the
Mhm.
people in the EU were worried about it, so they got him on a phone call. All these European nations were just relentless with him. And Donald Trump, when he got off that phone call, he goes, I didn't like that phone call. No, you didn't, because these people were telling you what the fuck's up and you know nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this meeting turns out
And
because
not
it's
only
not going to
that,
go easy
Mike,
for
because
Donald Trump.
he knows that these people are not going to co-sign to his bullshit. That's
Yeah.
why they planning like the way they're doing it tomorrow. They're like, no, let's get to the bottom line. Let's get to the business. What conclusion are we going to come to? That's it. That's all.
What I suspect will happen with Donald Trump, because this is the way he does things. People have said the person he agrees with is the last person he talks to. So now he talked to Vladimir Putin. He's all about Vladimir Putin because Vladimir Putin's a KGB agent and fucked with his head, which wasn't hard. Now he's going to sit down with all these EU people in Britain and
Mm-hmm.
Zelensky, and he's going to feel pressure over there. So when he comes out, just let's just see if I'm right. When he comes out of
Mm-hmm.
that meeting, he's going to
Mm-hmm.
start talking shit about Vladimir Putin. Oh, he's not doing anything. He's crazy. We're going to do some serious things
I
to him,
wouldn't
which
put it
they
past
won't.
them. I mean, nothing surprises me.
No, no, he's such a flip flopper about everything, and this is the problem with like
Wow.
tariffs and all this stuff. He can say one thing 1 minute and then it'd be totally different the next minute. That's why nobody can cut a deal with him.
Damn. I
He's
hate people that flip flops like that. It's like, okay, make up your mind. What's the decision is going to be?
well, and you have to understand his mentality for this too. The reason he does that is because the only thing he's thinking is, what can I say to make myself look good or strong or smart?
Oh,
And if it
damn.
means
Just
flipping
like
from what he
Trump.
said before, Well, and that's what I'm saying. He's going to be talking to
Yeah.
Zelensky and EU today, and it's going to change his tone a little bit. Now he's going to feel pressure to get Vladimir to do something. He'll make a threat, which he's never followed up on. So he's kind of in that point where he's got people on both sides kicking his ass, and he has no control over everything, which is what will fuck with Donald Trump's head. Once he has no
Wow.
control, he's screwed.
I mean, Zelensky is a president and he don't have any type of control. It's like, what the hell?
No, Trump doesn't have control
Well,
um,
yeah.
because Zelensky's not going to give away his country. There's just no way. And
I
Vladimir
mean, do you
Putin,
blame him?
no, I think he should fight like hell. And if he's got the EU behind him, by all means. I mean, we're
Yeah.
trying to talk. The fucked up thing about this war is it's what people forget is Vladimir Putin and Russia
Right.
invaded a sovereign country unprovoked for the first time since World War II. Nobody's ever done that before since World War II.
Wow.
So now he's doing that, and we're supposed to say, well, we got to listen to what Vladimir has to say. No, the motherfucker's a criminal. He attacked. I mean, if someone attacked you on the street, see, someone
Mm.
attacked you on the street and you're in court, how would you feel about them saying, well, you're a attacker. Let's see what his issues are and what he wants. Fuck what he wants.
No,
They
hell with
gotta
all of
fucking
that.
him.
Hell with all of that.
The only thing
Mm-mm.
American the only thing America can do is go in with Europe and fund Ukraine to put Vladimir Putin and the Russians down permanently. Because if they
Yeah,
get into
because when it
Ukraine,
comes
then they're
down
going
to
to go
this
to
war,
Poland.
it's time to put this shit to bed because it's been going on so long. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do to put this to bed? It's just enough is enough.
Well, and I'm so disappointed, because I was really counting on what Donald Trump said about wrapping up this war in 24 hours with a phone call.
I'm not surprised at him
Did
because he's a big liar.
It didn't happen. And the thing is, Donald Trump doesn't care about the thousands of people dying. He
No.
just wants to give the appearance that he's a peacemaker, that he can get a Nobel Peace
Donald Trump
Prize.
is all about himself. It's all about his ego. And it's like when he steps on the stage, he looks at a mirror and it's like he's only concerned about his own image. He doesn't care about the American people. He doesn't care about the world leaders. He doesn't care about the other people in the other countries. He's only concerned about him and his bag. That's it. That's all.
Now, a lot of people are saying, well, he did this to distract from Jeffrey Epstein, and he was
There you
successful with
go.
it.
Yeah.
But, but I don't think he was successful with it. First of all,
No.
there's Jeffrey Epstein's never going to be off the table. The Jeffrey Epstein thing is more important to MAGA than it is to us. So if they're going to keep pushing that issue, and what people have to understand is Mike Johnson gave the House of Representatives 6 weeks off so they didn't have to deal with Jeffrey Epstein. But when
Wow.
they come back in a week or so, Jamie Rashkin and a bunch of people, they're bringing this shit right back up, right into the fucking news, and they're going to start pressing them on it. So the Jeffrey Epstein is still in place. It's still going to be a huge issue going forward. And I've
Absolutely.
said this,
Absolutely.
I hope they don't release it. I hope they don't release the files. And here's why. Because the longer they don't release it, the madder MAGA's going to get, the more suspicious they're going to get. Let it go for a year or so of him lying and saying there's nothing there. People will get freaked out. The more they get freaked out, the more they will hate Donald Trump and pressure him with protests and shit.
But you know what, Mike? I mean, and I've learned this, from being in Darren's clarity group. It's a lot more. I mean, when it comes down to those Epstein files, is a lot more deeper than what you expect. Because one of the things I will share with you, what I learned, when it comes to those Epstein files, it's broken down and based upon sex, drugs, and money laundering.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants details, though, reach out to Darren Monroe and join his clarity group. Let them know C-Temptation had recommended you because he will go into more details, though, about, what's going on. It is super deep. I mean, when I found out this information out, my head started swimming. I'm like, damn, I need a cocktail.
Well, well,
It's deep.
the thing with the Jeffrey Epstein situation, you're right. It is people are talking about, well, it's about pedophilia and abusing young girls. That's true. And it's pervasive and it's pretty widespread amongst this group. And we'd like to know who this group is because it
Yeah.
wasn't just Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell that committed crimes. It's all the people that he brought in there, whether they be powerful and rich or not, doesn't matter. They broke laws. But one member of the House of Representatives from
Hmm.
Oregon came across all the uh, financial sheets, and he found out that there between four banks tied to Jeffrey Epstein, we're talking about $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
just about sex; it's
No.
about money. It's
It
about
is
money.
way bigger than Donald Trump. It is way bigger than Jeff Epstein. I mean, and it's not about, the people in politics. It's more to it's not just people in Hollywood and the fashion industry. It is people that's working behind the scenes that people don't even know that they're protecting.
Well, and there's some talk too that there might be some international type bullshit too. Some
That
people
too.
suggest that
That too.
Jeffrey Epstein was tied to Israel or Mossad or something like that. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if that's true, but
I
it's
mean, like I
possible.
said, it's a more, it's a deeper, it's a lot more deeper than what people are thinking it is. It is deep, deep, deep.
It is. There's so much to it, and we've just scratched the surface on what's going on there. And for people to
Yeah.
think that we've all forgot about it, yeah, that's not the case. People,
Mm-mm.
um, just thinking here, I'm just seeing a headline here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
uh, Schumer confronts Trump for selling out Ukraine in a fiery post. You wrote a strong letter. I mean, I see people like Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and all
Mm-hmm.
these people that just want to keep doing political business like we did 20 years ago. It's very frustrating. I think we need the strong people like Gavin Newsom and Jasmine Crockett and such, and get them talking loud and going in attack mode.
Well, like I stated before, Mike, like I said, you have the 23 governors, you have the attorney generals, and you have the non-for-profit organizations that's fighting for us. I know this for a fact because I'm a member of ACLU and they send me emails and let me know what's going on. I mean, they will get up there and fight and kick ass. I'm telling you.
Yeah, what I'm thankful for with Gavin Newsom is what he's doing right now is what a lot of people probably wanted to do. But like every
Mm-hmm.
politician, they're terrified of
Right.
Donald Trump for whatever reason. The fact that they're seeing Gavin Newsom do it and get away with it, you're going to start to see more people all of a sudden getting brave and trying to dip their toes in the waters to get a piece of that attention that Gavin Newsom's getting currently.
And just like you said in one of the previous lives that we was in on TikTok, it's time for the blue states to come together and strike back because and I know though a lot of people across America are sick and tired of Donald Trump. It's time to stand up to this clown and take back our country, rightfully what is ours. He doesn't own this country. He think he does. He think he's a king though, but he's not. It's our country. We are the ones that's paying their salaries. They work for us,
Yeah,
not
and
the other
and
way around.
not only do we have to realize that, we've got to make sure the people in Congress realize that because they're all
Exactly.
about taking money from PACs and doing what they want and doing what's benefiting them. Just seems like whether they be Republican or Democrat, they've forgotten what they're there
Mhm.
for and they pretty much ignore us unless they need our votes.
Because when you're talking about the Democrats that's in Congress, I mean, they are very, very, very dysfunctional. Let me give you a prime example like Hakeem Jeffries. I do not like that clown. I don't like him because you're talking one way about being supporting the Democrats, but why in the hell would you sit up here and vote against Donald Trump from being impeached? And I'm
Yeah.
like, he's got to go. He's got to go.
Well, and the thing is, like Hakeem Jeffries, some people ask him about Mondani in New York, and he won't give him an endorsement. Now, it's not because Hakeem Jeffries is Jewish. He's not Jewish, but he
No.
does get money from APAC, from the Jewish organization. So they're saying, don't say it, don't support this guy because he's Muslim, so he's got to be bad. Uh, it's all about money, and this is what we've got to
Yeah,
get
it
out
doesn't have
of
anything to do with his
politics.
religion. No.
No, No, it's just it's and this is why we're in this situation. People with big money feel like they can control things and do things the way they want to, and they've been able to do that. But now it's been brought out into the open. This is an opportunity for us to go, fuck you, we're not doing this anymore. And I hope people are on the verge of doing that. And I think somebody like
Exactly.
Gavin Newsom stirring the shit up doesn't hurt.
Now, I don't know if you heard this, Mike. I found this out last night that Gavin Newsom got some information over Trump regarding those Epstein files. I was like, damn, what does he have though? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's interesting. He did say that. He didn't say it was Epstein files, but he did say he had some he had some documentation or some evidence that Donald Trump doesn't want to get out, but he said that Mike Johnson asked him to provide it. So
Oh
Gavin
shit.
Newsom does have something.
He
And
got
I
some
got to
over
be honest
Trump's
with you,
head. I mean, that's the info that was brought to me last night. I was like, oh damn.
but part of what he was doing though, when he said that, I don't know when, if, or if he's even going to release any information. But
Hmm.
he's doing the one thing that works well with somebody like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a paranoid motherfucker. He thinks everybody's out to get him. And the fact of the matter is that's becoming more and more the case. But he knew when when he said, I got some shit that's going to scare the shit out of Donald Trump, he knew that was going to fuck with Trump's head and everybody around him.
Yeah. Because what Trump doesn't understand is this, though. He does not understand about karma and the mystic law of cause and effect, though, because what you put out there to the universe is going to come back to you. So Trump has a hell of a lot of karma that's going to come back to him.
Yeah, and it's going to be devastating. We other people I've talked to have said these kind of regimes never last, and it's always ends horrifically for them.
It's a matter of
And
time for him. That's all.
yeah, he's going to crash out. I mean, he's looking pretty weak as it is physically, mentally, and in terms of power, he isn't as strong as he once was.
No.
Um,
Mm-mm.
but the people around him, the Stephen Millers, the Christy Gnomes, all these people are committing crimes against the Constitution. And
Oh,
when
yeah.
Donald Trump is no longer there and we have a different DOJ, every one of these motherfuckers could get prosecuted.
Oh,
There's going to be a
absolutely. And I
lot of them.
guarantee you they're going to go to jail.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take, in spite of what Donald Trump says, Elon Musk doesn't get to go into departments and start stealing data. That's clearly against the law. But as long as Donald Trump is
And he's
president,
going
he
down
can get
too. And I
away.
bet you they're going to go after those Doge boys in order to get to Elon.
Yeah, yeah. And those teenage boys, those 18,
Hmm.
19-year-old boys,
Yeah.
those pimple-faced twinks, I got to tell you, it's one thing about Elon going to jail and having some money, but you cute little young motherfuckers, you do not want to go to jail.
You know what I'm saying? Because once they get caught up, that's gonna fuck with their future, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, we gotta spill the beans," because I'm not trying to go to jail for anybody.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, Will keeps saying that there's going to be a reckoning, and I kind of agree with him because there's a lot of stuff that's been done
Yeah,
that we can't take back. We may not
no,
even be able to fix. So there is going to have to be some accountability, some
and
retribution.
don't forget, you don't forget one other key person too, Miss Pam Bondi.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody told me once, well, she can't go to jail. She was the attorney general.
The hell she
Well,
can't.
I'll just tell you this: back
uh,
during Watergate,
hmm.
Nixon had an attorney general named Mitchell. That motherfucker went to jail. He actually spent time in prison. So Pam, if you think you're safe, you ain't safe.
Oh, she'd be in for a rude awakening shortly. And the reason why I'm saying is this because she signed a document saying that Elon Musk was not over Doge. And I think like a matter of like a few weeks later, Donald Trump was in a press conference and he admitted that Elon was over Doge. So she lied on a document. So you cannot sit up here and say she can't go to jail for that. And she might end up being disbarred.
Well, and yeah, there's all kinds of things she could be prosecuted for. Now you're in the Chicago area, right?
I am correct. Mhm.
Have you seen much presence from ICE in Chicago? They always talk about
Me
Chicago.
personally, I haven't, but word on the street, I heard that it was because I was like, wow, really?
How do you think people in Chicago will respond to ICE if they start pulling the shit they're pulling in Los Angeles?
Baby, let me tell you something. If I mean, I can't speak for the immigrants, I don't know, but if they're talking about pulling Americans, they talking about snatching Americans, oh, they're gonna be in for one hell of a fight. I'm telling you, because I lived in Chicago all of my life, and these crazy fools in Chicago, they're gonna fight. They're gonna be like, no, no, because number one, they cannot just snatch anybody out of, an American citizen. They can't do that, and I could see if they were criminals and they had a background, okay, that's one thing. But if you got people here that are decent, that's working, taking care of their families, taking care of their home, leave them alone. What are you fucking with them for? Because of their skin color? No. Uh-uh.
It's because of the skin color, and it's because they put on these quotas. Every
Yeah.
time they come up short on the quotas, Stephen Miller pisses his pants and yells at somebody, and then Tom Homan yells at his people, and then they start grabbing anybody, easy targets, because they got to make the top brass happy. And in the process, a lot of innocent people get picked up. They end up getting let out eventually.
It
But the
doesn't
bottom
make any
line is,
sense. Mm,
whether they're criminals or immigrants or illegal immigrants, there's still one big issue. There's due process. Everybody in America, whether you're a citizen or not, is worthy of due process. That's simply what the Constitution says. You can argue it all
exactly.
day, but it
Exactly.
doesn't stipulate anything out. And people say, well, they don't talk about uh, illegal immigrants. I said, well, this the Second Amendment doesn't say that you can have as many AR-15s as you want to, but you presume that's what it means. So
It's sad. It really is. I mean,
if
just
you're,
snatching people out, just snatching people up just for the hell of it. No,
what's the worst part of town in Chicago? The
the West
roughest part of
Side, the
the
West
West Side.
Side. Mhm.
Okay, now, so
It
what
is
happens if
wild on the
ICE?
West Side. Mhm.
So what happens if ICE goes into the West Side?
Shit, them fools are gonna be up there starting. They gonna pull out their pew pews and start doing what they do.
Yeah, yeah, you had.
Shit, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. I lived in Chicago all my life.
Well, and to think that people aren't going to fight back is crazy. Like they're in LA and they're in like a 4 block area. It's not like they're
Mm-hmm.
covering all of LA.
Right.
I'd like to see them go into Compton because I understand there is some
Ooh,
politician in
I heard about Compton. They
I,
they do not want none of Compton.
I tell you what, one time I told this story before, I got to tell you this story. I used to work in the music business and
Okay.
I represented a young, very talented black kid from North Minneapolis, and we're going out to L.A. First time I'd ever been to L.A. My brother, first time he'd been there. The kid, he was playing with the groups The Time and Jesse Johnson's Review, so he'd been around a little bit. Okay,
Oh,
so we're
Morris
driving.
Day, huh?
Yeah, well, it wasn't Morris Day. It wasn't Morris
Oh,
Day. It was Jerry Hubbard. He was the bass player.
okay.
But anyway, we're driving down whatever highway we're on, and we take an exit because that's the exit we're supposed to be on.
Okay.
And me and my brother, two big dumb white guys, just driving along, not knowing anything. We're from fucking Minneapolis. We don't know. And the kid with us is sitting in the back. He's looking around. He goes, "Oh shit." I, I go, "What?" He goes, "Oh fuck, we're fucked." And I said, "Why do you say that?"
Yeah.
He said, "There's way too many black people around here." I go, "Dude, you're black. What are you worried about?" He said,
Uh-uh.
"Look, we're in Compton. They're going to kill you, but they're going to kill me for being with you. Get the fuck
Oh,
out of here as
hell.
quickly as possible." Yeah, it was a little scary at first. We never had any problems, but because we're big tough young white guys, nobody's going to mess with us. Um, but but there was somebody in California, Los Angeles. I don't know if it was a state rep or a national rep that went to the gangs and said, "Listen, how about you guys all have a truce amongst each other and fight against ICE when they start kidnapping people?" I don't know if they're going to do it, but if they do set that up, those gangs are formidable. Those ICE
Ooh,
agents won't know what the fuck to do. That would be hilarious.
ooh, wee. I'm telling you, let them come to the west side and the south side. Oh, it's gonna be on and popping.
But you notice they don't do that though. They don't go to the red states and they don't go to the tough areas. They got to get the 65-year-old guy that's doing lawn work or the mom with a
Wow.
4-year-old child. I mean, these people are such gutless, pussy ass bitches. It's unbelievable.
Then plus it was a video circulating around. They said that it was men out there in the street pretending to be ICE agents that snatching women up and attacking them. And I'm going like, what the fuck? For
Yeah.
what?
Well, you no doubt heard the time Old Soul was on the program.
Oh yeah, I remember her. I definitely remember her. I saw when she was talking about how she got snatched up by ICE and was detained for like the last couple of days, and I'm going like, damn.
Well, and she told stories. She didn't see everything, but she saw people being treated horribly. But one of the things she did see, everybody who went in there got strip searched, including Old
Oh my
Soul. And
gosh.
Old
Oh my.
Soul is a soft, compassionate person, but
Yeah.
don't get her angry because I don't think she's somebody to be fucked with if that happens. But she was saying that some of the illegal immigrant women that were there were strip searched like 3 and 4 times.
Oh
So
my
you know what's up with
gosh.
that bullshit.
In other words, they
Fucking
got
ridiculous.
assaulted. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can't say that's not going on. You got a bunch of guys in black outfits with masks on with no description of who they're connected to, and they're just snatching people up. You know,
Oh my gosh.
we should get the gang members out there, get masks, and start snatching up ICE people
Okay? For real, for real. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, why are you harming these women?
because they can. I mean, you know as well as I do, there is a certain percentage of people that are just fucking dirtballs that don't care about anything,
No,
that
they
will
don't.
do anything they want, especially if somebody like Donald Trump says, "Go ahead and get away with it." Um, that
Complete
ICE is so desperate.
assholes.
Well,
Yeah.
they're so desperate to hire people for ICE. There is no age limit anymore. There is no physical condition anymore. You can be anybody you want. Some dumb fuck off the street, maybe an alcoholic and maybe a criminal. He goes, "I'll be on ICE," and
Somebody addicted to drugs, anything.
yeah, they don't care. It's all about the
No.
performance and all about the cruelty of it
About
all.
the numbers.
Um,
That's it. That's sad. Wow. So
talking
sad.
going back to this meeting today or tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this, um, with Zelensky and presuming that all these other leaders are coming, it's going to be interesting to see how this meeting goes because um, there's going to be some fireworks coming out of it because Zelensky can only do so much because he's from a smaller country and he's trying to
Right.
placate Donald Trump. These other European countries, they don't give a shit about talking out about Donald Trump
It's
because
gonna be
what's he going to
another
do
shit
now?
show. Watch what I tell you. Another episode of the Dog and Pony Show. Watch.
Well, if I'm in Europe and I've already got 20 or 30% tariffs, what do I got to lose? What do I got to
Exactly.
lose to say Donald Trump is a dumb fuck?
Exactly.
And Europe has a lot riding on this because they're afraid if he gets into Ukraine and then goes to Poland, he'll keep going as far west as he can. And then places like France and Spain and Britain are going to have to fight against this guy. That's why they need to stop him now. And for whatever reason, Donald Trump doesn't grasp that concept.
No, he doesn't. And it's just, and you could tell though just from videos that his cognitive has declined. I mean, I'm just gonna be real, the man has dementia.
Oh, no question. I
I
mean,
took care of my mom for 4 years before she passed away. She had dementia, so I'm pretty much familiar with the signs of it and the symptoms. It's like saying a slow goodbye to your loved ones. It's sad. It's just sad.
okay, I'm just looking at a headline here. This is on CNN.
Okay.
Um, this is what Donald Trump is going to suggest to Zelensky.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is to tell Zelensky to give up Crimea, which Russia took a while back, and agree to never join NATO. Do you really think that Zelensky is going to agree to that?
Get the
And when he
fuck out of
doesn't
here.
agree,
Get the fuck out
and
of
th-
here. Hell
and then
no.
when he doesn't agree to that, then Donald Trump will get frustrated and he'll start talking some more shit.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Donald Trump, he's 79 years of age. Okay.
Yeah.
He has his mentality now. I mean, the way the rate he's going right now, his mentality is like a 3-year old, and then he wants to carry on and ramp and rave if he doesn't get his way. So, going back to what I said about his playbook, I said this on many videos about his playbook. He uses psychology to gain strength and to manipulate people. So it wouldn't surprise me if he try to run this, pull the same old shit come this meeting coming up. It wouldn't phase me. I mean, I'm like, there you go with his bullshit again.
Well, I think somebody was asking Marco Rubio. They said all these other people from other countries are coming to make sure that Zelensky doesn't get bullied. And Marco says, well, that's not going to happen. We wouldn't do that. Well, you did it
Yeah,
last
okay.
time. And right now
Okay.
you want this peace. You're going to try to force Zelensky to do whatever Vladimir Putin wants, and you're going to try to push him to agree to it. Zelensky is a lot stronger guy than that. He's not going to agree to that bullshit. But Donald Trump will get frustrated. I'll guarantee you they'll have a meeting and he'll do what he always does. He'll leave early because he's pissed and he wants to pout.
Wow. Yeah, that's Donald Trump. I mean, and for people to just see him as this great leader and this great president, like I still say it's time for people to wake up. He is not all of that. The man is sick, he has dementia, and I wouldn't be surprised though if he has congestive heart failure because he's showing the symptoms of that too.
Well, he should. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does because the guy doesn't look good.
No.
Um, and that may be the greatest blessing we could hope for is that he's standing in front of a crowd and he keels over, vomits and shits on himself,
Oh, damn.
embarrasses himself, and then expires. See, that's the thing. See, it's not enough for me to see him die. Um, I need it to be embarrassing too, for his last moments on Earth to
Hmm.
be an embarrassment for him, because that would be like going to hell for him.
Wow. I mean, because I never was the type of person that wishes death on anybody, quote unquote, but in the same breath, he's going to have his karma, it's going to come back on him. I don't know when or how, but it will eventually, it's going to definitely come back on him.
Yeah, no question. Well, Old Soul made a good point that her grandmother used to say. She said, I don't wish death on anyone,
No.
but there are some obituaries I'm looking forward to reading. Yeah, I like that. There's quite a few that I'd like to read. Um,
And as the famous words my mother used to say, rest in peace to her, as she used to tell me all the time, keep living, just keep living,
well,
keep
that's all
living.
you can do. I mean,
Yep.
that's all you can do. You just keep pushing forward. I tell people, I said, if you can grasp this concept, life will be so much easier. And
Hmm.
that is everything that happened later than yesterday. Forget about it because there's nothing you can do about it.
No,
Don't worry about what people say about you because they're going to say it regardless. Even if you try to be nice, if they hate you, they
please.
hate you. If they love you, they love you. Secondly, don't worry about the future. If you just do whatever you're supposed to do now in the
Exactly.
best way you can, the future will turn out.
I
So
mean,
if you just
because the
focus on
past is
today,
gone, the past is gone, far as the future is the unknown. So the only thing that we have control over is the present. So my theory is this is just make every second count and do the best that you can. Because
well,
the
absolutely.
way things are nowadays, tomorrow isn't promised at all.
No, it isn't, unfortunately, but
No,
uh, hopefully we're getting closer to getting out from under what's going on now with Donald Trump. I,
tell me
I, I
about it.
acknowledged something. I acknowledged something with Eric recently.
Hmm.
He and I both were wrong on something, and I've said this before, but I'm a repetitive, redundant motherfucker, so I'm going to do it again. Um, when he was elected, I was trying to comfort myself and others with the fact that, okay, he could do some crazy shit. But there are guardrails, there are norms, there are laws, there are rules, and even the Republicans wouldn't be so crazy to allow him to do certain things.
Absolutely.
But motherfucker, I was wrong about that because nobody on the Republican side has done anything to try to stop him.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Because, one thing I've learned about the Republicans and MAGA, they're just a cult. I mean, only thing Donald Trump is worried about, they just want all these people to cater to him, suck up on his ass. And I'm just keeping it real, suck up on his ass, and whatever they say, they'll just be like, yes, sir, yes, sir. How high are we supposed to jump? Man, fuck that.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah.
as a country in America, we are a rebel nation. We are, quote unquote, the United States of America. We are a rebel nation.
That to a large degree, you're right. I mean, when
Yeah,
you think about the Revolutionary War, we came over here, and England, which was quite a power, comes over and says, "Now we're going to fight you," and we had people using guerrilla warfare and doing whatever, and they pushed them back when there was
exactly.
no hope to push them back. When I listen to people that are worried about Donald Trump and they'll say, well, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. I always say, well, think about this. There are two groups of people that I have a lot of respect for. First of all, the people in the Revolutionary War. They were just a
Hmm.
ragtag bunch of people. They were ready to fight and had no chance at all. And they won. The other folks are the people with the civil rights. You
There you
have to
go.
understand if you were in this, if you lived in the 60s like I did, and I was young at the time, but I tell people, I said, what you have to understand, if you weren't in the 60s or even some of the 70s, racism was an accepted behavior.
Exactly.
Nobody got
Exactly.
nobody got called out for saying the N word. They say, "Oh, don't swear," but they never got called out for that because racism was accepted. And I try to explain people, like when I talk about Martin Luther King, particularly.
Hmm.
Here's a here's a group of people in this country that were a minority, are a minority, right?
Correct.
They committed to peaceful protest and that sort of thing. They
Yes.
committed to that. They lived in a country where they weren't afforded many of the rights that white people got. They had absolutely nothing going for them in getting into a fight with white America, but they still fucking
Mm.
did it. And they
Yeah.
fucking won.
Yeah.
So if the people with the civil rights can do it and bring on allies of white people and such, this situation is much different because we don't have a minority of people against Donald Trump. We have about 70% of the country against Donald Trump. So we
Exactly.
should have a much easier time than those folks with the civil rights when they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah, because I mean, our ancestors, they had fought, they had sacrificed their lives, to get us to the level where we at now in the year 2025. And it's like, the fight still continues. I mean, I'm still fighting, only difference is now I'm doing it on social media.
Right, right. What, it's one thing. It's one thing. I want to talk to you about that because I know you're doing the podcast and doing the
Hmm.
social media, of course,
Yes.
and you're an outspoken woman, which some people don't like, or an outspoken woman of color. They don't like that either.
Oh,
With
wow.
me, with me, when I first started doing it, uh, it was a novelty. It was a surprise. That motherfucker isn't a Trump bumper? I mean, I get it now. People will come up to me and start talking shit, and they can't believe what I say back to them. They just look at my face and they go, oh, yeah, he likes fucking Trump. But with you, as a woman of color speaking out, do you get much kickback from? I mean, I get from Trump-fucks now and again, but
Hmm.
do you get much pushback from different kinds of people because of your age and because, not age, but because of your gender and race?
Not really. I mean, the people that, subscribe to me and the people that I engage with on TikTok, they love my content, and even personal friends was like, keep going, we love you. I was in a live last week, and this lady, she's a part of the LGBTQ community, and she was like, see, we need you, we love you, keep going, speak, keep using your voice, keep speaking out. And I'm like, hey, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, because we need people to speak the truth.
Yeah, yeah, we do. I mean, we've got a lot going against us that we didn't have back, say, in the 60s and 70s.
Exactly.
Not not only do we have a government that's working against this country and the people in this country, we now have a media that's been co-opted by these same fucks, and they're complicit in the disinformation that's coming out to us. So we're fortunate that we have the internet because back in those days, all
Right.
we had was the media. And if the media was fucking with us, we were cooked. That's still not in our best interest because we've got these
Mm,
people talking to a lot of people and giving them bad information. But at least we have the internet. People like you, people like me, people like Eric, or everybody else speaking the truth. They at least have the
exactly.
opportunity to hear that.
Exactly. And that's really important, though. I mean, because we just don't want to go by, just be another alarmist and say, well, oh, breaking news, breaking news. No, we need to get down to the root of things, and explain to the people, look, this is not right. Here's why A, B, C, D, E. It's all about, the backstory.
Well, I think it validates some people too, because, like I
Yeah,
say, people will come to me and they'll say, yeah, I wanted to say that too, but I can't, or I don't know how, or whatever. And the thing about it is some people can be sitting in their living rooms going, that's fucked up.
right.
But am I the only one that thinks that way? Sometimes they think they're the only ones thinking that way. So it takes some loudmouths like you and I to go out there and people going, yeah, yeah. And then they finally realize there's a lot of people that believe the way they do, and they maybe get some courage to speak out more. And I think that's what's important. I always tell people, I can't do shit on my own. I can yell till I'm blue in the face, but the real thing that you and I need to do is to incite other people to be just as angry and be as well informed as they need to be, and then pass it on, and hopefully they pass it on. That's the way to create kind of a grassroots or a groundswell. That's the only value we have. Let's be honest, see, you and I are simply shit stirrers. That's what we are.
See myself really as a shitster, quote unquote, is all about, I have to maintain my peace, but in the same breath, when I get on camera and do my videos, whether it be short or not, or whatever the case is, the
Yeah.
message I want to deliver is just the truth. Now, if people want to accept it, cool. If they don't, then, that's fine too, because I can't change grown people. Only thing I can do is deliver the message and just tell it like it is. Now, after that, it's up to each person, because it all starts from within.
Well, the one thing we learned from Donald Trump, though, is he can take a lie and say it over and over again, and certain people will believe it. So I would
Yeah,
imagine when you are people like us or other people on TikTok or whatever, if we say the truth over and over again, hopefully they'll buy into that.
they'll eventually they'll get the message.
What
It's like, like he lied about, oh, the price of eggs are going to go down and the cost of living is going down. Psh, all lies.
It's absolutely all lies, and you wonder when people are going to grasp it. I mean, these people are suffering with higher prices right now. Gas
Exactly.
here is $3.15. Not outrageous, but certainly not $1.99. Eggs are about
Right.
$5 a dozen, $4 or $5 a
Wow.
dozen, and it used to be $2 a dozen. So the
Right.
stuff's really much higher. Housing is going up, and they're doing nothing to help to bring that down. They say they are.
Exactly.
They say they're
There's like,
fiscally responsible.
electricity, the electric bills, they're going to be increasing, by I think it's like 24% come next year.
I tell you what, my electric bill right now is up 30%.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
I live in a condo, so my electric bill isn't really big, isn't really
Yeah.
huge. But I've lived in houses where you spend at least a couple of $100 a month on electricity, but it has increased. And don't you think, the tariffs, people keep saying the tariffs haven't done much as yet. Well, the tariffs really haven't been in place for very long. He kept
Right.
pulling them back. But now that we've got these tariffs in place, we're going to start seeing the uh, the ramifications of those tariffs, and it's coming at a
Oh,
very
yes.
inopportune time because we got
Oh,
Christmas
yes.
coming up. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
buy your
People are
kid
going to feel it.
toys.
Yeah, I think with these tariffs and then Christmas is coming up, I don't think it's going to be a lot of people that's going to do a lot of Christmas shopping because they're going to be worrying about, well, I got to buy groceries, I got to buy stuff for the kids, like their clothes and their shoes, and they got to pay these bills, they got to pay this light bill, they got to pay this gas bill, water bill, and those utility bills are not getting any cheaper. They're not.
No, they aren't. And then you look at the whole jobs situation
Oh my
where
gosh.
we're losing tons of jobs. Donald Trump doesn't like the message, so he fires the messenger. he hires somebody else from Project 2025, and his idea is just to
Yeah, the
open up
Heritage
resorts.
Foundation. That's sick. I mean, it's like, why do you need somebody to cover, to cover for you? It's like put the truth out there, like you said before, he fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's going to be interesting to see when the Republicans start to realize that they've been duped. Now, I was talking about something on TikTok today that,
Mhm.
and we've been hearing about this for a while. Nebraska is absolutely fucked right now.
Oh,
Nebraska, the
wow.
state of Nebraska, is within
Wow.
days, if not already, in bankruptcy. And the reason
Oh
they're
boy.
bankrupt,
Mm,
the
mm,
reason they're
mm.
bankrupt, they're saying, is because they had a $2 billion contract with China for soybeans.
Oh my
Completely gone.
goodness.
Completely gone now. That 2 billion is out the window. Secondly,
Wow.
they they've lost all their immigrant help, so they don't
Yeah,
have enough
I heard it.
people to
Yeah.
go in the
Yeah.
fields. Now, because they don't have the sales or the people working, they aren't collecting the tax
Yeah.
from those people that were doing business or working. So we're getting closer to 2.5 to maybe $3 billion in the hole. And guess what they did?
What?
They go into Donald Trump and say, "God, we're dying on the vine here. We need some help.
That's so sad.
We need $500 million." Now, excuse me for being heartless here.
Yeah.
Nebraska, they don't like illegal immigrants or any immigrants. They don't like
Wow.
helping women that need money.
Mm.
If Donald Trump was to give Nebraska $500 million to save them, doesn't that sound like welfare or socialism to you?
We both know that's never going to happen. That is never going to happen. Because, like I said, Donald Trump is all about Donald Trump. He does not care about anybody in this country.
Yeah, the only reason he gives them any money is if he gets something in return, and they got nothing to give in return. He doesn't
Right,
need their votes
exactly.
anymore. He doesn't need their votes anymore.
And did you hear? I think they have put this in effect that 14-year-old teenagers now they're considering them as adults though to go out there and work. And when I got one of that, I was like, "What? Wait a minute! 14 years old? They're still kids."
Well, that's the thing. Everybody says, well, um, they're going to lower the working age, and everybody's going,
Right?
oh no, we're going to have 12-year-olds working. There's
Oh
another
hell
factor
no!
to this whole thing. Are you a parent? See?
Unfortunately, no. But I was pregnant once and had a miscarriage. But ever since that experience, I became a lot more passionate when it comes down to women and children.
Well, my point is that even if the government says it's okay for a 12-year-old to go to work, the parents still have to fucking agree to it. If you're a
Exactly.
parent worth your salt, you don't allow that to fucking happen.
Because they're underage, this, like I said, is up to, the parent got to give the consent.
Well, and they're trying to lower the age of consent for sexual interaction, so these old guys can do whatever the fuck they want. And
Now
while
that's
she's
sick.
13, she's okay. It's
That is
absolutely sick.
sick. I mean, because look at Donald Trump. I mean, he's a pedophile. I mean, and
He
he even
is.
hired a guy to be over, what is it, the head of the presidential fitness program, and
Yeah.
he's a sex offender.
Well, there's a lot of them, and I mean, every time you turn around, there's another Republican that's being exposed or arrested for inappropriate or flat out illegal behavior. And that's why I've said, we talk about messaging based on what we're seeing now about how many of these people are getting arrested for
Mhm.
pedophilia or something similar to that. Donald Trump trying to make it easier on Ghislaine Maxwell. As far as I'm
Oh,
concerned,
don't even go there with that lady. Oh, please.
but as far as I'm concerned, if you're supporting sexual offenders, you're
Mm-hmm.
no better than they are. So if you're a
Mm-hmm.
Trumplafuck supporting Donald Trump, you clearly support sexual abuse,
Right. They're
pedophilia.
just as fucked up as he is.
You know how the Republicans used to say that to the Democrats. The
Mhm.
Democratic cabal, and you guys, and Joe smelled that kid's hair and all that stuff. Well, Donald Trump was sued with Jeffrey Epstein for the rape of a 13-year-old girl. That's far worse than whatever they said with Joe Biden. So
That's
we need
terrible.
to
That
attach
is
we
horrible.
need we need to attach the whole party to that kind of behavior. Because
Absolutely.
even if they don't do it, they're supporting it.
And and it's like another thing with Donald Trump is that he does not believe in taking accountability for his actions. It's like everything he says, he wants to blame Kamala, he wants to blame Joe Biden, he wants to blame Obama, but he never wants to take accountability for what the hell he does at all.
No, no, and that's typical of a narcissist. It's not me, it's got to be
Exactly.
you.
Exactly
And
my point.
and as much as he does that, you would think people will catch on and say, this is ridiculous. 27
Exactly.
women say you assaulted them. They can't all be liars. They can't all be liars. You were adjudicated for rape with E. Jean Carroll. You lost the case. She's not a liar. But he just continues to say, well, they're just lying about that. And there's a faction of people in this country that say, we believe Donald Trump, a pathological liar, and they choose to believe the liar. It's just
Sick.
fucking outrageous.
And then it's like, criminals, basically criminals look out for each other, And I still believe though that he's gonna far as Miss Maxwell, he gonna give her that part and watch what I tell you.
You think so?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I wouldn't put it past him.
Let
Then
me,
there was rumors going around saying she's on work release, but when I researched it, that was false.
yeah, I think somebody presumed that that's where she was headed. Let me give you a theory.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a conspiracy theory. I don't know that he gives her a pardon. I think it's going to be far worse than that because let's be honest. If she knows as much as we think she knows, and she does
Hmm.
because she was Jeffrey Epstein's partner,
Right.
um, there's only one way that Donald Trump and all the other powerful men that are involved in this, there's the only one way that they're safe if they shut her mouth. You could
Mm.
give her money. You could give her a release. She could go to fucking Morocco and not be able to be brought back. And she could write a book about this whole thing, exposing all of them. So are
Exactly.
they
Or
going,
put it on the internet.
yeah, are they going to risk letting her go out there and hope to God she doesn't say something? I don't think so. I think maybe by putting them in an easier prison where people don't like her, it might be easier to get rid of her.
You think so?
I don't know, but we know what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
And and let me say this: if you got Donald Trump, a bunch of other politicians, a bunch of musicians and actors and stuff that have
Mm-hmm.
tons
Mm-hmm.
and tons of money, are you going to feel comfortable if she is released,
I mean,
thinking
I
she
wouldn't,
might?
but that's just my take on it because, criminals, they stick together.
They do, but I mean, she's a risk as long as she's alive. She is a risk, whether she's
Hmm.
in prison. She wants to get out. Donald Trump doesn't do what she wants to do. Then she starts talking to try to get time taken off. Or when she does get out, she goes someplace where nobody can find her and then leaks out this information for money. That would be the concern I would have if I was somebody that was trying to hide something. And if that's the case, you can't guarantee that you're safe as long as she's alive and as long as she has the possibility of talking.
Well, I mean, only thing I could say is this, we just have to see what happens, far as latest developments as the story unfolds. But it's a possibility he might.
I think he's already gotten what he wanted out of Ghislaine Maxwell, and here's why.
Mhm.
They go see her, and then all of a sudden she magically is sent to this easier prison in Texas. Okay.
Right, right.
And then something leaks out from the meeting, which is interesting because the only people in the meeting were Ghislaine Maxwell, Todd Blanche,
Yeah.
and Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer. So who did it leak out from? But the leak said this, because this is how Donald Trump thinks. The leak said, yeah, they talked to Ghislaine Maxwell and she said nothing bad about Donald Trump, nothing that would implicate Donald Trump. And he needed that message out there just so he could say, "See, I'm not involved." That's what she said, even though
Mhm.
she's a convicted liar and a fucking monster. But he needed her to say something, and while she couldn't say it directly, uh, Donald Trump's enough of a wussy ass motherfucker where he says, "Just say she said this, and then it'll go away." But Donald Trump is caught up in this whole thing that
Yeah,
he's
he
focused
is.
on trying to extricate himself from the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. That's what he's worried about. But what he doesn't understand is the Trumplefucks, the MAGA people, they don't care about that. They want the
Uh-uh.
files. You can make yourself look as innocent as you want, still want the files.
And we both know those files will never come out. That part will never happen.
No, no, they won't come out. But I will tell you this: at some point,
Hmm.
we will see some things from those files. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of video floating around, and who has it?
Well, I already kind of shared with you without, going into any detail about, what's in depth or about those Epstein files, and it's way bigger than Donald Trump, and it's way bigger than Epstein, it's way bigger than people like the Hollywood stars or people in politics, people in the fashion industry. It's a way bigger equation.
I mean, when you're talking about that much money and that much power, it's it's obvious that it's bigger than that. It's
Absolutely. It
it's not
is.
just about sex. I mean, the sex part of it is abhorrent. And
Yes,
if it
it's
were
it's a
just
part,
that, it's
but
enough.
you're talking about the drugs and the money laundering.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with her. I don't know what it is. You notice she's
Mhm.
been kind of on the back burner because we're talking about the summit and Zelensky and stuff. But as
Yeah.
I said, we haven't talked around Jeffrey Epstein as much as we did a couple of weeks ago. But when Congress gets back in session, Democrats know that this is a hot button for MAGA, and they're
Oh
going to be
yeah.
bringing up stuff every fucking day in the House of Representatives, whether it
And and
gets expanded on or not.
and if you start paying closer attention, Donald Trump comes up with all this drama to throw us off from the main narrative, which is the Epstein files and this big disastrous bill, because that's still on the table. I mean, but he does that to throw us off. It's all part of his strategy, it's his psychology.
Yeah, it is. I don't think he's smart enough to really have a strategy. This is just what he does instinctually. If he's in trouble, he tries to divert the attention someplace else. But the unfortunate thing for Donald Trump, every time he does that, he looks stupid again. Big beautiful
He's
bill.
a, he's a
He looks
master
stupid.
manipulator.
Um, yeah, I think people give him too much credit for being smart at all. He's not very smart. He's just
He's not.
very he just says shit that comes in his head. That's why it doesn't make any sense. That's why he'll sit there at some big meeting and start complaining about the 2020 election again. He can't stand that he lost that. And even though it was 5 years ago, he still got to talk about it.
That's crazy. And then this bullshit that he did with, the 2024 election, we know that he stole that because him and Elon Musk admitted to that the day of the inauguration because I saw the clips of it and I'm like, really? Really?
The thing about that is people will say, well, he stole the election. And as soon as we find that out, that will change everything. And I think the important thing to understand is it won't. There's nothing in the Constitution that says we pull Trump out and put Kamala in. That's not going to happen. All that's going to happen, hopefully, is if we find out he cheated, obviously he will be embarrassed by it. All we can really do is make sure we have safeguards in the next election. But we
Oh
need
yeah, and
Democrats in a
especially
position
with
to
the
do it.
midterms, because he's trying to fuck up, trying to get access to the system right now. But what he doesn't understand when it comes to the midterms, this is being handled on a state by state basis. It's not federal.
Well, and that's why he's trying to do the gerrymandering thing in Texas. It's
Exactly.
interesting. And this is classic Donald Trump. They want to gerrymander the state of Texas and get 5 more seats. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, so Gavin Newsom says, well, then we'll gerrymander and cancel out your five seats.
Flip the script. Hey, God said, Gavin, get him,
So so
get
so what
him.
does but what does Donald Trump say then? Donald Trump says, okay, well then we'll get 10 seats. And Gavin will say, we can get
and
10
cry
seats
like a
too.
stupid ass.
Yeah. But I think it's important that people like Gavin Newsom, JB Pritzker, and those folks um, just go ahead and do it. You got to smack them. You got to smack
And
them.
shout
You
out to my
can't.
Governor Pritzker because he's kicking ass. He's like, and then I heard a while ago saying that they had sent the National Guards to Chicago, and I'm going like, if he did, they're not going to be here for long because they're not the police. They're not trained for that, and you can't mix civilians with military.
Well, and their initial boss, National Guard, is Governor Pritzker.
Yeah, and he
Um,
already had told Donald Trump no. He shut that down immediately. He said no, you're not going to send
right.
them.
Well, you live in Illinois. You know who your governor is.
Pritzker,
Out here in the
yes,
other states, yeah, Pritzker. We see him on TV and such, and he's impressive in his own right. Um,
I
what is it
love him.
you
I
like
love
about
Pritzker. Mm.
what do you like about Pritzker? Maybe you can tell people what else they
You know
don't know
what?
about Pritzker.
You know what? Not so much, we know that he's a billionaire. Of course we do, but not so much of him being a billionaire. The connection that he has with the people and his level of understanding and his passion, that's the part that I really respect him about. I mean, he cares about the people and the citizens of Illinois. He cares about them. It's not all about the money. Like I said, he's a billionaire, he's set, but he really cares about his people, and that's why I stand strong with him.
Well, he's kind of a unicorn. He's a billionaire that does care about other people, and most billionaires don't give a fuck about other
Right,
people.
exactly, exactly, and that's
What?
what I got to give Pritzker man, his mad respect though, because I mean, you could just look in his eyes and tell that he has that passion of helping out, and trying to do whatever he can and does do what's right for the people, and that's, if he becomes president, boy, I would support him all the way.
Well, what I get from Pritzker is that he does have some fight in him, and he's not afraid to say certain things.
Absolutely.
Um, he may not be quite as smooth as Gavin, but Gavin may be too smooth. Do you see Pritzker as somebody who is ready to wade in and fight?
Yeah, no question, no question, no question about that. I see that fire in his eyes. That's why I'm like, I got to give my, mad due respect to him.
Absolutely. Do you think? Here's what I'm thinking. Gavin
Hmm.
Newsom has stepped out front, and he's going after Donald Trump.
Right.
Gavin Newsom clearly wants to run for the presidency. I think JB Pritzker wants to run for the presidency too.
Hmm.
So does
Hmm.
he seeing that it's working for Gavin, do you think Pritzker ramps it up?
Um, it could go either way. I think both of them got a good chance. Now this is what I heard. I'm not sure if this is true or not. I could be wrong, but this is inside information I gathered. Even though that Kamala is, got a book coming out, it's supposed to come out next month, and she's gonna be, on her book tour, and that's cool. But I really hope and pray that she steps up and try to give this another crack and run for president again in 2028. She might change her mind. I don't know, but this is what I got. I hope she runs again. I really do.
Yeah, I would love to see Kamala as president. I think she would have been a great president, certainly better than the bullshit we have now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Because I
but
mean, if she would have been in office right now, we wouldn't deal with half of this. I mean, this disastrous bill wouldn't even took effect.
no, we would have been a lot better off with Kamala Harris, and hopefully the Republicans realize that. My only question of that is I've
Hmm.
said before, in 2028 we have to win, because if we
Absolutely.
don't win, we're fucked.
Exactly.
Um, and I would love to see Kamala as president, but given that
Absolutely.
given that we find out that this country is more racist and maybe more sexist than we imagined, um, is it a risk putting her back up again because she's a woman of color? I'd
I
love to
would,
see
I
her.
would, I would definitely would vote for her again. Absolutely, because but the only thing that saddens me is let's just say that if she ran for president and if she gets in office, just for example, she would spend a whole lot of time going through and clean up after Donald Trump's mess. Because I guarantee you one thing, though, whoever the next president is, and once Donald Trump steps down or if he makes his transition or whatever the case is, it's going to be a lot of investigations that's going to take place, if not so much for him, but for his administration. Because I guarantee you, they're going down. They are going down.
Well, I think at the midterms, if at the very least Democrats get control of the House of Representatives, the next 2 years is going to be nothing but investigations and hearings and that sort
And
of
I
stuff.
hope they impeach him. Then once they get a control back over the House again.
Yeah, I think they will. It'll, there's a good chance. There is a chance that the Democrats could get the Senate too. Now, whether they'd
Mm-hmm.
get 60 seats, I doubt that. But some people say that there might be some Republicans that wouldn't be opposed to impeaching him, especially after they lose the midterms.
And then if you think about this so-called big, beautiful, disastrous bill that they just passed, and I know a lot of people have a problem with that because I'm quite sure, excuse me, they have relatives that's receiving benefits like, Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, people that are veterans, receiving those benefits. I'm quite sure that they're gonna go along with it though to get him impeached. I bet you watch.
Yeah, if they lose horribly in the midterms, I think maybe Eric, I can't remember who said this, but at that point, that's when you'll see Republicans walking away from Donald Trump because he'll
Mhm.
have no
Yeah.
political value anymore. If they lose the midterms horribly, then there's nothing he can really do at that point. He's a lame
No.
duck president. He doesn't have control in the House or Senate. They're going to want to kick him to the curb. And trust me, while the Republicans have been standing next to Donald Trump through the stupidest shit, once they see no value in him anymore, they'll kick him to the curb in a minute.
Yeah. Because either if he doesn't quit, if he doesn't step down, then he's going to get impeached. If not, then, his health is going to constantly decline more and eventually he's going to make his transition.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think Pritzker's going to run for president?
I hope he does though, but we'll see. But I really hope he does. I think he would make one hell of a good president. But we'll see what happens. But I think the toss up is going to be probably between Gavin and Kamala. That's just my analysis on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be a situation where Kamala does run and then brings on Gavin Newsom as VP because he's younger,
Because
and
if
she
you
wouldn't
peep
want to
at
be
one of the
VP
one of
again.
the things that she said though, that right now that she wants to, release her book, go on tour, talk to people. But I think what it is, as far as talking to people, I think she's just going to be gathering information on what's going on.
Well, and people have said we need to get a leader right away, but we have to remember what the strategy of Republicans is. And what
Mm-hmm.
that is whoever they're running against, they spend all their time trying to tear them down, make them look, unethical or whatever, like what they did with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking you're not going to get a full-fledged leader revealed till after the midterms
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want to give them any more time than they have to as far as, their attacks on whoever the candidate might be.
Because I think with Donald Trump, I mean, and I've been telling people this before, I don't see him making it past 2 years. As far as him making
I
it
don't
through the
either.
whole term, no. Mm-mm.
No,
Because the
he
man, the
will either.
reality is the man is sick. I mean, he's sick. And did you notice when he had went down, came off the plane and walked that red carpet, he couldn't walk a straight line. And then if you looked at his hands, I mean, his hands looked dark. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, he was coming down that red carpet kind of like
Just
this. I don't know what.
zigzagging, right? And I'm like, what? And I mean, because when I looked at the footage, I was like, what is going on?
I was thinking the only thing it could be other than, maybe dementia or whatever, or
Yeah.
or he has a big load in his diaper and it's just shifting, like trucks do on the highway. Whole fucking load's going to the left side and he has to
Oh
pull it to the
gosh.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
boy, that is too funny. I mean, but on the serious note, I could tell. I'm like, this man is really sick.
yeah. Yeah, and the sad part of it is the sicker he looks, the more joy I get.
Wow. And then just him in terms of him making it out, if he makes it through next year, that would be a miracle.
I think so too. I mean, there's a lot. The pressure's got to be pretty heavy. I mean,
Exactly. The
you you've
stress.
got people coming down on you for Epstein. You got people coming down on the economy and the tariffs. You got people coming down on you about Russia and Ukraine. You've got people coming down on you about Israel and Hamas. It's just unbelievable. One of the things that struck me that made me the maddest. Donald Trump has Vladimir Putin come to the United States first time in 10 years. Now, the United States doesn't subscribe to the ICC because if he went to some other country, 123 other countries, he would be arrested by the international courts because he is a war criminal. But what does Donald Trump do? He
Wow.
lets him land in our country, gives him a fucking red carpet, shakes his hand, smiles, jokes around with literally a murderous dictator. But it's not just Vladimir Putin.
Hmm.
Benjamin Netanyahu, same kind of thing. He's a convicted war criminal. Both of these guys need wars in their countries to stay in power. Once the
Wow.
wars end, they're going to be out
It's
and they're
over.
probably going to jail. So you've got
Yeah.
two people. He's trying to negotiate wars with two people that don't want to end the wars.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you got a dictator, a wannabe dictator, and all these fools are criminals. What the hell is really going on?
Did you ever imagine we as a country would get to this stage? I mean, growing up,
Absolutely not. Because, at almost, and I'll be 60 years of age next month, I never imagined that this country would actually come to this type of status where they're at right now. Because it's fucking ridiculous. I'm sick of it.
we were
He's trying to take away, the benefits from millions of people, and that's going to put the country in a serious deficit. I got a serious problem with that.
both of us were born in the 60s, and over the 60 to 65 years, we've seen some pretty fucked up shit in this country. But this doesn't even look real. This is like a fever dream come to life. It's just, you can't imagine how it gets to this point. And I can't help but blame the Republicans for allowing this to happen. It's all
Exactly.
about,
Exactly.
it's all, it's all about fear and power for them. And as long as Donald Trump creates this fear and gives a perception of power, they follow him, whether it's good
Yeah,
or
that's
not,
all they
whether it's
about
helpful
though.
to
They
this
just
country.
wanna they just too busy kissing up Trump's ass instead of standing up to this man and say, look, this is fucked up what you're doing. You need to stop. I did a video the other day which scared the shit out of me, talking about Social Security, that it might end up being running dry by the year of 2034. And that just when I thought about it, I was like, now, what's gonna happen to all of this money I paid into Social Security for the past 40 years? Is that just going to disappear? I mean,
Well,
that's fucked
I, I,
up.
I well, I'll tell you this. People have said that to me before. And since the time I was about 17, 18 years old, we're talking 78, 77, and beyond. From that moment in time, have been telling me, oh, Social Security is going to dry up. You'll never get it. Well, I'm on Social Security now. Okay. I don't, this country can't afford to have Social Security dry up because it would be devastating, not only to the people who aren't getting the Social Security, but it would destroy the economy. All these people that can't rent houses, can't buy products, can't do anything. It would be
Can't buy
absolutely
medication.
devastating.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is it's so easy to fix Social Security. You only have to do one thing: is
What?
make rich people pay their fair share. There's a
Yeah.
cap on there's a cap on Social Security. The most you pay for Social Security is if you make like $170,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So say you pay $10,000 a year when you make $170,000. Now, if you make 250,000, 2.5 million, 2.5 billion, you don't pay more than that $10,000. They capped it at 175,000. All those rich people that are making billions of dollars don't pay any more Social Security than the guy making 175,000. If you just made it fair and everybody paid the same amount, we would have plenty of money for Social Security.
Now, let me ask you this question. Now, it's been some talk, and like I said, and I read up on the story about it that Donald Trump is trying to privatize Social Security, meaning put it in a 401k plan and put it into the stock market. And the information I've gathered, the reason why he's trying to do that because he's going to get a cut on the table, in reference to this. And I'm like, what kind of dumb shit is that? Because I'm thinking about the seniors. I'm getting older myself. You got to think about how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to pay for their groceries, how they're going to pay for their medication. They have to go to the doctor and say, like, for example, if they need certain things, to keep their health maintained, how they're going to afford that and pay their medical insurance. And premiums are not cheap.
No, no, they aren't. And I will tell you this too, with regards to Social Security, they've been talking about privatizing that for decades too.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hot button for this country. They can kind of try to fuck with Social Security. They're not going to survive with how they fucked around with Medicaid. That's going to have a huge impact, not only on people that get Medicaid, but they are
Mm-hmm.
going to lose, they're losing tons and tons of rural hospitals, people
Yeah,
who aren't on
hospitals closing
Medicaid.
down, the nursing homes are closing down. It's a lot of people that's going to suffer and possibly lose their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know, we're on the downside of Donald Trump's power here. And when he's out, uh, some, I listened to Robert Reich, I think his name is. He was the
Hmm.
Secretary of Treasury under Obama, and
Yes.
he said one thing to know, like during the Depression, everything
Hmm.
was radical right. Everybody was fucking things over, and then when that ended, it went way left because FDR came out with Social Security and Medicare and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's conceivable once we get out of this mess, people will be so hurt and so damaged and so tired of this shit, we
Damn.
might be able to get some of the progressive ideas down the road. So I'm hoping for that. You live in Chicago. The way I explain it is, if you're driving down the road in Chicago or in Minnesota and it's snowy, and then all of a sudden your car slides to the right, what do
Hmm.
you do? What do you do? You crank that fucking wheel all the way to the left.
Exactly.
And then you go all the way to the left and then you crank it all the way to the right. You keep doing that until you get into the center. So I think it's conceivable after this is all said and done, we get at least a period of time where it goes really hard left.
Man, and it's just, I really feel sorry for whoever the next president is because they're going to have some hellified shit that they got to clean up behind Trump. And it's scary. It's just really scary.
It absolutely is scary. Well, I tell you what, see, we're going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer podcast. Why don't you tell folks again where they can find you? They should be looking for you.
Sure, I'm on YouTube. You can catch me there. And plus, I'm on Instagram, the political discussion, and I'm on TikTok until further notice with that. So, yeah, you can find me. And plus, I'm on Blue Sky and Skylight.
Okay, and where on YouTube and TikTok and such, do they just look under C Temptation?
Now on YouTube, it's going to be listed under the political discussion and Instagram.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
those are the main ones. Like I said, go under the political discussion. You'll see my face. I just kind of updated my page a little bit. You'll see the banner in yellow with black letter in the political discussion. You'll see my face, my page, my face on there. You'll know that's me.
okay. So what I generally tell folks, if you don't follow C Temptation already, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay? Because
And
I
I
have
want
been
to.
working really hard.
She's working very hard. She knows her stuff. She's entertaining to listen to, and just a bit of homework to the people listening to this podcast. In the next week or so, I want C Temptation to DM me and say, "Motherfucker, we got a lot more followers because you said it. I just said it. Do it, bitches."
That's
Um, so
right.
fo- so follow C Temptation and C. I thank you for coming on the show today. It's
And
always
oh, one
entertaining
more thing
talking to
as
you.
well. Make sure that you go to Darren Monroe's Politics because he is the man, he knows his shit. And I mean, and like I said, he has a clarity group and he has a money makers group. My advice is to sign up and join, let him know that I was the one that sent you. The man knows his shit. I'm telling you, because he's my
Well,
coach.
Well, and that's the thing you have to understand. If you want to win this fight, you got to be informed. You got to be informed with facts, and you got to take action. And so,
Absolutely.
by all means, do that. So, those of you listening to the podcast, thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.